Dr. Spivey.
I can see you, Laurie. Can you see me?
I can't see you, but that doesn't mean that we can't hear you.
If I tilt my machine, is that better?
Let's see. No, hang on.
Hi, Dr. Spivey. I'm Asher. I wrote the letter with Tucker here. Hi. We got to know you as we watched How Art Made the World. What was it like to hold the Venus of Willendorf in your hands?
Well, she's very heavy. So small. But I'll tell you the most extraordinary thing about that experience. I mean, it's very unusual to be given something out of a museum cabinet. They don't like people handling these things. But I had this immediate sensation, even though I was wearing a pair of gloves, they insisted on that. I had the immediate sensation that a lot of people had held her along like 20, 30,000 years ago.
Yeah.
It was almost like a mystical thing. I just knew, she just had the...
Spivey. Hello, Dr. Spivey. I'm Tucker, and I helped write the letter with Asher. I have a question for you. Personally, what is your favorite type of art from any culture group or single person, whether it be ancient or contemporary?
Okay, the first answer, have you people heard of a place in Italy called Pompeii?
Yes.
You know about the Barnes collection in Philadelphia? And he's got a lot there, I can't remember if there are any in Getty or not. There must be a few there, but there's something about the simplicity of his work which is very appealing to me.
I'd like to ask you another question. If we, all of us, could travel to only one site in the ancient world, where would you suggest it be? And why would you recommend we go there?
Oh, that's a good question. Well, I'm not winding you up, okay? Because this is a kind of, it may strike you as a provocative suggestion. But if you could get there, I would recommend that you go to a place called Persepolis, which is in the middle of Iran. And to be honest, anyone with a British or American passport has problems getting there at the moment. They don't make it easy for you, and they don't exactly welcome you with open arms. But it is this site in the middle of the desert. Because it's in the desert and the sand has preserved it well, it is genuinely worth the word awesome. I mean, I know we all use the word awesome too much, but you would have to find another word to describe the experience of being in Persepolis. But maybe I don't know, a couple of generations, who knows, it might, the Iranians might become our friends. I think that's what the president wants.
All right, well, thank you so much, Dr. Spivey.
Thank you, Tucker.
Hi, my name is Min. Okay, so how do you research for your revolutionary ideas?
Well, it's kind of you to call them revolutionary. I'm not sure they are that revolutionary or original, but I do a bit of digging. I have dug in some sites in Italy, and one way of coming up with ideas is to find new bits of ancient art. So that's one strategy. Travelling, obviously, and yeah, going to places like the Getty. I guess you know that well as a museum, but it's also a very well-resourced research institute. Probably the best place to study art history in the world, I would say. So that's on your doorstep, and they have extraordinary resources for getting images and conserving stuff that's falling apart, and they have all sorts of programs for world art, which I think is puts them in a league of their own in our time.
Yeah. How does traveling to actual sites change your view on art and history, rather than just reading and looking at images in a book?
I think you probably know the answer to that question. It's, you know, it's one thing to be in a library if they are in context, and a lot of places, in most circumstances, they're in museums and they're behind glass, and you can't, unless you can force people to give you the Venus of Willendorf, it's not easy to actually get to